Okay, so this is just another update. Right now, I am packing. I'm still in Taiwan in the dorm, as you can tell. And I'm packing, and I heard from my school, I heard back, and I got the job. Um, so they sent me the contract, and I looked over it, and it basically said everything that we talked about when I had my video chats with them and stuff. So it looked very straightforward. It's a very basic document, and I just signed it and sent it back to him, and he was really happy about that, and he said that he wanted me to get my original diploma and mail it to him so that he could show it to immigration so that they would speed up the process to get a visa, a work visa for me. And I'm in Taiwan right now. I'm not home. My diploma is not in Taiwan right now. My diploma is at home. So I was freaking out a little bit. I hadn't really planned on going home. But the safest scenario I think is to go and get it myself. I considered like getting a courier service to do it. And mail couriers, I just found out about this recently, is something where like somebody actually, like a person, will actually have your package with them and then fly to another country or something like that and ensure that like your mail gets to where it's going. And that's kind of like been phased out a lot because people trust mail services. But I'm not willing to risk my original diploma because I looked online. I talked to my university about getting it replaced, and they can replace it. The only thing is it would have the word duplicate printed on the next diploma. So it'll never be that original diploma. They make sure of it. So, I'm going home. And when I found that out, I started freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, what am I need to get it to Japan as soon as possible so that he has plenty of time for this application to process, for me to start working and him paying me and everything like that. And that was at the end of January. So I was looking at air flights, airfares, flights from here to the U.S. and to Japan, and just freaking out over the price and everything. And I was like, how am I gonna do this? I still have stuff here. I'm still like, I need to pack. I have a bunch of food that I bought to hold me over for the Lunar New Year holiday when all the stores are closed and grocery stores are open, but like it's really only grocery stores and convenience stores and like some public transportation organizations and stuff like that. But like restaurants are closed and stuff, so I just bought a bunch of stuff to like hold myself over, and I've been slowly eating away at it. I've just been finishing off. I'm almost done. And so I decided not to book. Today is Friday. I decided not to book for what would have been today, which would have been like 3 days ago. I could have booked for 3 days ago, after 3 days before this. I could have booked for today, but I decided not to because I'd have to take a train to another city to do that. So I'm actually leaving next week on Tuesday in the morning, I think, or around noon. Actually, I'm leaving around noon, and it's just crazy because when I was looking at all my options and everything, I don't even know who I booked with, honestly. I think it was Orbitz I booked with. And then there was this, like, I was looking at my itinerary, and the flight literally drops me off in Detroit and then starts again in New York, and I'm just like, where is the flight from Detroit to New York? Like, you have me going from where I am to my final destination. This is like I booked all the way to my final destination. Like when I first came over here, I booked in installments, so it was up to me to like catch my flight. They were not connecting flights; they were just like separate flights. Like I booked one to Miami, then one to like Texas, and then one to San Francisco, and then one to Tokyo to Taiwan. That was the only connecting flight, was between San Francisco and Taiwan. I connected in Tokyo. But this was one that I booked from Taiwan to the US, to the States, to Virginia, where I'm from. I booked that all the way through, and then when I look at the itinerary, it just drops me off in Detroit and then starts again in New York. And I was like, and then it continues to Virginia. Like, what? What is this? Are you trying to like make me spend more money and pay for another connecting flight, or what is this? I don't understand. So I called them, and they were like, "Oh, yeah. So it's like one flight all the way from my second destination, and that I'm going to talk about it from. It's like one flight that like connects through Detroit to New York, and when I booked it, it didn't have that in there. I didn't see the Detroit connection, so I was just like, I don't even care if I go to Detroit or whatever. Like, I knew that it was an option, but I didn't book that. So, but there's no New York, so they're saying, oh, it's in there. And then they sent me another itinerary, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. It's just one flight with multiple stops and stuff. So I don't even know if I'm gonna like move planes or anything, if they just like refuel and then you get back on the same. I have no idea. But anyway, that flight, with one of the reasons I booked it was because it has a layover of like 22 hours in Shanghai. And I've been wanting to go to Shanghai since I got here, since before I got here. That was kind of like one of my originally, like, I planned for that to be sort of an in game for me. Like, hey, go to Taiwan, learn how to speak Chinese, complete your master's in Shanghai, and intern at a company there, and then get a job. End game. But, I don't know if that's what it's going to be anymore, but I still want to go to Shanghai. Like, how can I completely rule that out if I haven't been there? So, I have an overnight in Shanghai. That'll be fun and interesting. I haven't planned anything for it. It's Friday. This is next Tuesday. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I haven't planned a hotel. I haven't planned what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to eat. I don't know anything. I'm just going to land and transfer my money, and I have a deal through Orbitz to get money off one hotel, so I might do that. I don't know if it'll be cheaper or easier or whatever to try and get a hostel or something. I've found that when I fly and stuff, when I go to destinations and I have less than I don't have a lot of time planned. I just kind of like do whatever and it all works out anyway. So it's not going to be bad as long as you have money. As long as you have money, money makes the world go round. Money will make your dreams come true, kind of. Like, money is the safety net and security and basically everything, which is why I cried so hard when I went to San Francisco and I lost my credit card, because I was about to take my first international flight and I lost my credit card in San Francisco. I was freaking out, okay? So anyway, after that, I get home, and I want to go home so that I can do souvenirs. I can give my parents and my family souvenirs and say hi to them. And ideally, if I was going home, I'd want to stay longer, but I'm leaving literally like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 days later. Because that layover in Shanghai, which I don't think is necessary, eats up an extra day, and I only plan for like a week, and then on Valentine's Day I'm gonna fly back out to go to Japan, and I'm connecting through Toronto, which is kind of exciting because I've never been to Toronto. I've been to Vancouver before, but never Toronto. And then go back to Tokyo, and I talked to my boss, and he said that I should take the bus when I get into Tokyo and come to Kofu that day. Because I told him, I was like, I can come that day, or I can come the next day. And originally, I was gonna come in. I thought I was coming in on the 14th, and I would just come the next day to Kofu. I would spend the night in Tokyo and then come the next day to Kofu. But again, that dateline really just fucked with me all the time, and so I'm actually coming in on the 15th. So I told him I was coming in on the 15th anyway, so I could either leave immediately after the airport and come and still arrive in the same day, or I could come the next day. He's just come on the 15th, like, then you can spend the 16th here and meet everyone and stuff. And actually, that's the end of when my original plan for staying in Taiwan was the 17th of February. That's basically the end of when we had arranged for my housing here. So I'm kind of freaking out about that because I just contacted my program manager here in Taiwan and was like, hey, I'm leaving like 2 weeks in advance. I'm leaving next week, 2 weeks in advance. And they're confused a little bit because it's very sudden. They're like, we want to have, goodbye lunch with you, and I don't know, maybe give me a certificate or something. And I hadn't even thought about that when I was like planning on leaving. I was just like, I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. I gotta take my document. It's gotta be there. I don't want to lose it. I should probably have had it with me to begin with, but if I had, my mom would have freaked out. And of course, me telling my mom that I'm coming back home, she was just like, okay, cool, you can get started applying for all sort of stuff here and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, Mom, I'm only coming back for a little bit because I got a job in another country. Not Taiwan. Not the country I was in for the past 6 months, but Japan. And she does not like Japanese people. She doesn't like traveling. She doesn't like anything, honestly. But in particular, she's been ragging on Japanese people probably because she thinks that they're misogynists and they're gonna like attack me or something, and I'm gonna be a second class citizen, I'm gonna be like a servant or something while I'm there and all this other stuff. And I don't know, I just think it's very narrow minded of her, but she doesn't travel, so what can you do? Narrow minded old people. And she's really upset because I don't seem to be wanting to participate in the family, and I'm like running away and what's the word? What is the word? Disowning myself, kind of. But so that's the part about traveling that can be really annoying when you don't have supportive family members who really understand you. And then on the other side, teaching isn't what I originally wanted to do, and my dad was a stay-at-home dad, and now he is majoring in engineering. My brother's majoring in engineering. My sister did engineering and biology and stuff like that. Like they all went for like high achieving things, and I majored in computer graphics, which was only acceptable because it was with computers and technology, and my mom was a computer science major. So I'm just like, yeah, I got a contract to be a teacher, and my dad was like, oh, I always knew you'd be a great teacher. Okay, great. I mean, at least he's being supportive on the outside, but I can't help but feel that he's being patronizing, which makes sense because he is the patron of our family. Because he's the father. So, after that, I was kind of like, my job there doesn't actually start until like mid-March. And I was thinking, okay, well, I'll just spend 5 days at home, get all my shit together, and then I'll go to Japan and I'll stay there, and I won't be able to come back probably until Golden Week in Japan, which is a collection of national holidays. I had no idea about this, but most people get off national holidays, and then like Golden Week is only special because it's like a bunch of national holidays one after another. And it's at the beginning of May. And yeah, that's kind of interesting. I just don't know what the dates are for when I would have off, so I can't really schedule anything in advance as far as like coming home or traveling and stuff. And I talked to other people who work at the job that I just got, and they said, oh yeah, usually when we have breaks, we don't stay in Japan, we leave Japan. We don't go home either. We just stay in Asia. We go to like Bali or something like that. Like, yeah, I could go to Bali. I could go back to Taiwan. I never saw Turoko Gorge, which is something that I meant to do because it's, like I said, it's February and it doesn't start until mid-March, and I had no plans to go home until he was like, hey, I need your original diploma. So I was going to spend all that time. I was thinking of going to Vietnam to eat some pho, and apparently it's not that expensive. As far as like a trip is, there's really inexpensive trips to Manila in the Philippines right now, but like the Philippines are kind of crazy because of what's happening with their president and like violence in the streets and like drug killings and things like that. I don't really want to go there. It's like half the price of going to Ho Chi Minh City, which is also Saigon. And hey, wouldn't you want to go to Saigon? Hey, King and I, right? Um, so yeah, that was originally what I was gonna do, but then I was like, I'll probably come to Japan in March, so that's only like 2 weeks or whatever, like a week or two. I would spend like palling around the area, and I actually had a whole thing laid out where I was thinking, okay, where can I go first? I was thinking, oh geez, what is this? Manila, because eventually I was like, why not go to the Philippines? I know people who are Filipino who are living in the Philippines, so why not go to that place or whatever? So Manila to Ho Chi Minh to Kuala Lumpur, which is I forget where that is. Where Malaysia to Bangkok in Thailand, back to Vietnam, Hanoi, which I heard is cheaper than Ho Chi Minh, to Hong Kong, so I could round out going out to Hong Kong, because I went to Hong Kong and then I did basically nothing there, to Shanghai, because you gotta go to Shanghai. This was before I booked my ticket back home, to Korea, either Seoul or Busan, and then to Japan, either Osaka or Tokyo, or wherever's cheapest, because there's a bunch of other places you can fly in besides Tokyo, but mostly everyone flies into Tokyo, and it's like on the eastern seaboard, so it's like the closest to places like the US. But anyway, since I have to go home, that's all fucked. So I decided after my time in Kofu is over, after I hand over my documents, I don't know if they're gonna need them for very long, or if I can just wait like a day and then get them back. Because I don't know what he means by show them. Like, are you gonna show them and submit my diploma, or are you gonna like show them in the window, just like hold it up to him, and then I can have it back? Um, but yeah, I basically planned from I want to say the 16th until the 1st. I'm gonna be in Japan, so that's like 11 days. And then I just did this. I just booked a flight to go back home, round trip from Tokyo to Virginia back to Tokyo. And that was a lot cheaper than booking 2 one-ways, because it would have been, I mean, I could have booked a flight from Taipei to Tokyo and then booked a round trip from Tokyo to Virginia and then back. That I don't know if that would have been cheaper or not. It might have been. Oh God, maybe I should. Maybe that's what I should have done. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, when I for immigration and stuff like that, because I don't have my work visa set up or anything, I'm basically going there as a visitor, so I need to have an onward ticket anyway. So I'm going to leave and then I'm going to come back. And if I leave, I don't know if it's going to say round trip ticket or something like that. Like, will they let me come originally to Japan if I have like plans to leave and then come back? Like, do I need to have an onward ticket from that last ticket where that is a round trip or something like that? I don't know. So that's interesting to think about, because I will leave the first time, but I'll come back. And then the second time, I don't know, maybe from there I will book a ticket to Taiwan or something. The only thing is, my round trip flight the second time, which is for 2 weeks. So the second time I come back, my mom doesn't know this at all, because I know she completely blew up the first time that I told her that I was coming back, but I was leaving again. So I was just like, how about I just don't tell you next time I decide to come home? She doesn't think about these things. Like, I'm telling you as a courtesy. This is not up for debate. Just pick me up at the airport, unless you don't want to see me, in which case I shouldn't have come back at all. Like, you're gonna be a jerk about it, okay? So yeah, 2 weeks at home, and then I come back like right as I need to be back, basically. To start like searching for an apartment, with the support of my employer, and also I need to do a seminar for teaching before I actually start. Let me think. If I come back on, let's say, 16th, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's about 6 weeks. That's like a month and a half, kind of. But that's like only a week later. It's only a week later than he originally wanted me to submit the documents by. I think it'll be fine. But of course, it's like a short stay and stuff. It's not, whatever, so I'm not supposed to actually like tell anyone that I'm not under a work visa. I'm not supposed to like mention it at all. So there's that. And my mom, of course, she's just like, don't do it. What if you get stuck there? Blah, 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 blah. I don't think she realizes. She definitely doesn't understand because she doesn't travel. She doesn't fly. She's so afraid of like going anywhere. Like, I mean, she goes places for work, but she's like an immigrant. So she's like, America is the best. America, America. And why would you ever want to travel anywhere and everyone else sucks and all this stuff. It's just like really close-minded and sad. And yeah, she doesn't understand that if you get into trouble, like it's not slavery. It's not indentured servitude. You can get on a flight and leave as long as your credit limit on your credit card allows it. Basically, if you have money, you have freedom. Basically, even if you don't have money, but you have credit, you have freedom. And I'm trying to get a job so that I will have money so I can do things that I want to do, like buy flights to go visit other countries. Thank you very much. It's been interesting though, because she's trying to convince me that like instead of going and living in Tokyo, it's not Tokyo, it's like 3 hours away from Tokyo. Instead of, which is still like totally doable for like a day trip or like the weekend or something like that. Hey, do you want to go to Tokyo on a Saturday and stay Saturday night and go to the club and then have a relaxing Sunday and then go back home and get ready for work on Monday? That sounds fantastic. I don't know how often I'll be doing that, if ever, but it sounds doable. So I don't know what I was saying. Anyway, that's the end of it. I'm just planning out my flights and stuff, and do you want to see my map? It's not a map, it's like my planning and everything. So the yellow is when I'm going to be in Virginia, and then the blue is going to be when I'm in Japan, and then this yellow is in Virginia, and then there's more blue down here, and then I've got the like golden week down here, and the purple those are my flight days. I have a little bit of green here for Shanghai. So it's a different city. It's my manager. Oh, jeez. I bet it's going to be all like, hey, what's the deal? She's asking, are you leaving next Tuesday? Not next Tuesday. This Tuesday. I don't know how to explain this to her. I didn't have a lot of material for this video. So I'm just going to say hi. This coming up Tuesday, actually, the 7th. There's no way around it. I'm going. I booked the ticket, so I'm going. Like I said, it's sudden. It's not a lot of time, but also, that is leaving next Tuesday, not this coming up Tuesday, but next Tuesday. That's Valentine's Day, and that's only like a few days before I like have to leave anyway. So it's not like, hey, this is really sudden. No, it's not. Okay. I don't know what to do. Oh God, what's she gonna say? Oh, she's asking if anything's wrong because I'm leaving so suddenly. I'm just gonna end this now. Sorry.